name's Daniel, and I live here in Austin and also in San Antonio. This is a very interesting show. From what I know of it, it's a very diverse group of artists from not just here in Austin and in Texas, but outside Texas, as well as artists from Europe, primarily Germany and France. Some of these pieces I really like, and I thought I could maybe talk on them for a quick minute. I really like this one. It's called Last Supper Trading Cards by Annie Feldmeyer Adams. She's an artist in Chicago. She has a listing of inmates who have been executed throughout the country, their last meals on these trading cards. So it's kind of a memento not only of the executed, but you can also see what they had as their last meal. Almost every one of them have had pretty large meals. They had pretty big appetites. Either that or they knew that was their last meal, obviously, so they ate quite a bit. Some of them didn't eat anything. Some cards just say none. One card said something like peace, truth, justice, things like that. What I like about the cards is it reminded me of the paper giveaway by Felix Gonzalez Torres. For those of you who don't know too much of his work, a lot of his work dealt with the quickness of life and the suddenness, sometimes of death. His paper stack was about this high, very large, maybe 24 by 24 stack of papers. And as you went to the gallery and then the museum, as the piece went to museums later on after his death, you could take a piece of paper and keep it as a memento of Gonzalez Torres, maybe of life itself. It kind of reminds you of how quickly things come and go. And so that's what this reminded me of, Torres' paper giveaways. Of course, they're much smaller, but I think the concept was similar. I don't know if this artist knew of that particular work. She probably had. It's a very well-known piece by Torres. So I really like it. I also like this quick example of one of these trading cards. This person's last meal is here. They ate quite a bit for that last meal. There's also a photograph of the person's mouth, and she took these from the state criminal justice agencies, the mug shots that they were used to process the inmates onto death row. Of course, Gonzalez Torres' paper giveaways were completely blank pages, very minimalist, very conceptual type of artwork. This kind of trades off on that, but in a little bit different way, and I really do like it. I think it's a pretty good idea that she had here. And a lot of these people who were executed, you can tell maybe where they come from, not only in terms of their social and economic background, but also in the geographic place within the United States. A lot of the last meals were heavy on barbecue, beef, and pork, lots of fried chicken, lots of fried okra, lots of fried foods. I think this reflects the fact that 3/4 of all persons executed in the United States in the last 20 years have been just from 4 states, Texas, Oklahoma, Virginia, and Florida, states where a lot of fried foods are consumed, as well as barbecue in a very heavy manner. Very interesting piece. Here's another work I really like. It's by an Austin, Texas artist, Michelle Meyer. It's called Last Bite. And it looks very, well, it is what it is. Very clinical, very cold, antiseptic. You don't know whether this is a bed where the inmate was sleeping, or maybe it's the death row bed where they're strapped and eventually given the injection by needle that leads to the execution. She put the food tray here. She has a DVD player here, so we're looking at a last meal. And I like the way she positioned the tray to be, I guess, in the lower abdomen where it's being digested. But of course, the digestion process will never be complete because the food, of course, I don't know whether it will be passed out of the body or not, but within 1 or 2 hours of the last meal, the person is executed. Very interesting installation. This show doesn't have many installation works, but from what I heard, there were quite a few installation artists from Germany and France and the Netherlands. But the jury, the prejudged panel, passed on most of those works. Here's another piece that I really like. I think it's very interesting. This is here's another Austin, Texas artist, although most of the works in here are not from artists in Austin. This is by Russell Castillo Jr. from Liberty Hill. It's called Killing Words. It's a computer-generated print of the various execution styles over the last 1, 2, 3, 5,000 years, I guess, the last 40,000 years. And it kind of reminds me of a lot of Ed Ruscha's works. That Los Angeles-based artist has done a lot of this kind of print work, just using words and manipulating them in various fonts and styles. He's done quite a bit of that in the 70s, 80s, late 60s. So I don't know if Castillo is aware of Ruscha's works. He's very young. I think Castillo is in his late teens or early 20s. But I really like it. It's pretty good work. I think we should have the professor at UT. I doubt whether you're going to get a lot of people to leave their comments tomorrow. You know what? Here's a very interesting work. It's done by a professor of art at the University of Texas at Austin. It's called The Walls by Bogdan Brzezinski. I think he's the associate professor at UT Austin. And if you call in the number, you can listen to his statement. This was originally presented a few years ago at an art fair in Bangkok, Thailand. And this is the first time it's been shown anywhere in North America. You can call 408-795-2169, enter 221 pound, and you can listen to his statement. This show is very interactive. Most of the artists in here left artist statements. And if you call that number from any telephone, you can listen to their statement. This is a computer-generated video, and it's supposed to show the execution chamber at the Walls unit in Huntsville, Texas. I believe he did do research on it to find out the dimensions and so on. The screen moves and you can see the chamber and the bed. And it's kind of mesmerizing, actually. It takes, I think, 10 or 15 minutes for you to pan around 360 degrees. But it is pretty interesting to see the various perspectives. It's pretty good work of computer-generated art. Here's another work that looks interesting. My Vote Kills. It's called Death Tote Bag Number 2. My Vote Kills by Linda Hesh, Alexandria, Virginia. It reminds me a lot of the work from the 80s of Jenny Holzer and Barbara Kruger. Very in your face, very political. I'm not saying I actually like that style. I think it's too overt. And of course, that was the choice of the 3 judges. But it's very much in that political Holzer-Kruger vein of print. And so it's pretty clear where this person, what this person thinks of the death penalty, as well as, I guess you could say, then Governor Bush and now Governor Rick Perry, both supporters of the death penalty here in Texas. Here's an interesting work. I guess I don't know whether you would call it installation, mixed media. Anyway, it's 7 ropes. It's done by someone from Halle, Germany, named Robert Kunek, and he calls it 7 times. The title is 7 times. You see mother, father, husband, wife, son, daughter, so on and so on. And if you call and listen to his art statement, he's talking about the eternal power struggle among and between men, and death penalty execution is just one of the main power struggles. So he used rope to represent that struggle. I guess maybe in a tug of war. That's what I thought of when I first saw it. He's from Germany. Also, when I first saw it, I thought of the German artist Joseph Beuys. I think that artist, very influential, of course, to a lot of people. He used rope and felt and other types of natural material in his works. So this is something I really like. It's